Look, this AI rally has been, well, it's been absolutely wild. But what happens if the music just stops? Today, we're going to break down a really interesting chat between three different investors about exactly that. What's their contingency plan when it all feels like AI hype?
All right, let's just jump right in with a big, scary question that's going to frame this whole explainer. What if the AI bubble bursts? And I don't mean next year or next month. I mean tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm talking a 50% haircut. Overnight. Just gone. It sounds extreme, I know, but thinking through these crazy scenarios is what really forces you to get your strategy straight.
And make no mistake, the stakes are unbelievably high. One of the investors we're drawing from put it pretty bluntly. He said, you have to be ready for the kind of panic where, and I'm quoting here, people were jumping from buildings. Okay, so let's actually go there. Let's play out that scenario. We're waking up, and the AI boom is officially over.
The damage is already done. Your portfolio is a sea of red. That big, beautiful AI story that's been driving everything for the past couple of years, it's toast. So what's your first move? Like, what do you do right now?
This is where things get really interesting, because the investors in this conversation split right down the middle. Two totally different playbooks for how to handle the mess.
So in one corner, you've got your buy the dip crowd. Their game plan? Double down on the high-quality tech names that just got crushed, the Googles and Amazons of the world. They see it as a massive sale. But in the other corner, you've got the contrarians. Their plan is to completely pivot, to pull out a pre-made shopping list of, well, boring companies that the AI boom left for dead.
So what exactly is on this boring watch list? Well, it's stuff that just works, no matter what the market's doing. Think about it. Waste collection from companies like Waste Management. People always need their trash picked up, right? Or consumer staples like Pepsi. And get this, even totally beaten down real estate investment trusts, or REITs, companies that own buildings and stuff.
Okay, let's zoom in on one of these ideas to see how it works. A name that popped up as a potential deep value play was the pharma giant Pfizer.
So the whole story for Pfizer right now, the reason people are even looking at it, comes down to one thing: the GLP-1 market. You've probably heard of these. They're the new insanely popular weight loss drugs. And this market is just exploding. We're talking a projected $200 billion a year market by 2030. That is huge.
And here's where the valuation argument really comes into play. The two big dogs in this GLP-1 space right now are Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. And man, they are trading at sky-high multiples. Investors are paying a massive premium for their growth. But Pfizer, the new kid on the block, it's trading at a tiny fraction of that. It's just cheap. So if you're bullish on Pfizer, here's the story you're telling yourself. 1, the stock is cheap. 2, they're in the middle of this massive cost-cutting program to get more profitable. And 3, they just bought their ticket into that massive GLP-1 market by buying a company called Metsera. But of course, there's always another side to the story, right? The bear case is pretty strong too. Critics are saying, whoa, they paid way too much for Metsera, which, by the way, doesn't even have a product on the market yet. Plus, Pfizer's carrying a lot of debt, and that big, juicy dividend they pay out, it could be at risk if things get tight. All right, let's shift gears to another one of those unloved sectors on the watch list, real estate investment trusts, or REITs. And man, have these things been just absolutely hammered. So why? What's the deal here? Well, the pain in the REIT space is basically a perfect storm. You've got high interest rates, which jacks up their borrowing costs, and then you have this huge wave of negativity, especially around office buildings. The whole work from home thing. And you can really see just how bad it's gotten. Take a look at a specific REIT that came up in the discussion, Alexandria Real Estate, or ARE. Year to date, it's just been decimated, down over 40%, while the rest of the market has been fly high. So this creates a really stark choice for an investor. The big risk? A company like ARE might have to cut its dividend to save cash. That's the scary part. But the opportunity? For a real contrarian, the prize is that the company is now trading at valuations cheaper than they were in the absolute depths of the 2008 financial crisis. Think about that. And all of this brings us right back to today, right now. With all the frothiness and the very real risks out there, it really makes you ask, how ready are you for a downturn? The investors use the hype around a potential OpenAI IPO as a perfect example, a real cautionary tale. One of them summed it up perfectly.
He said that for a company burning cash like that, an IPO isn't some strategic move for growth. It's a necessity just to survive.
And that leads to this just staggering number. One analyst broke it down and figured out that OpenAI's future bills for chips and cloud computing could top $1.1 trillion. It's a number that's so big it's hard to even wrap your head around, and it just shows you the insane amount of cash you need to keep this AI hype train running.
And look, this isn't just some academic exercise. The investors pointed to some very real storm clouds on the horizon right now. We had that recent government shutdown messing with economic data. We still have no idea what the Fed's going to do next. And we're starting to see a real spike in people falling behind on their credit card and auto loan payments.
So all of this circles right back to that very first question we asked. But this time, it's not some hypothetical for a panel of experts. It's for you. If you woke up tomorrow morning and the market was chopped in half, do you have a plan? Is your portfolio really ready for that?